Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Killteam Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Casa de Geek, where I am about to play a 150-point Kill Team Commander's mission between my Dark Angels and Harris's Orcs. So the story that we've got going on here, this is a continuation of that story that we've been working on here. If you haven't watched the Aeronautica Imperialis battle report at this point, I'm actually not going to spoil it. All you have to know is that during that battle, an Imperial plane went down into this area here, and as it crashed down, they sent out a distress signal that the crew had survived. So the Dark Angels happened to have a scouting force in the area, sent them out to go find them, found the wreckage, and called in some reinforcements, and were able to arrive on the scene with the crew still alive. But as they arrived, so too did an Orc warband who were always looking for the loot. So they came upon this, looking to loot the plane, and of course kill any of the humies that might be still alive on there. So of course the two sides then clashed. So what we are going to be doing today is a form of King of the Hill, essentially. So we've got the two forces on either side of the map here, and we are going to be playing it where at the end of each round, whoever has the most models on the base of this wreckage here gets a point. Each of the regular guys counts as 1 point. Each of the specialists count as 2 points, including the leader, and the commanders count as 3 points for that. Or count as 3 models for the 1 point that we get at the end there. So whoever controls it. So if he has his commander on there, and I have, say, my 2 regular scouts down on there, he would win because he has 3 to my 2. But if I have my commander on there, he has his commander on there, and then I have one of my scouts, I would get the point that at the end of that turn because of me having 4 points worth of models on there and him having 3 points worth of models. Pretty simple and super fun. We'll see what happens. It's going to obviously encourage some close-in fighting, and we'll see. Yeah, Harris is very okay with that with his Orcs. I'm pretty okay with that with my dude bros, and we'll see. Maybe I can shoot some of them as they get towards the wreckage here. With a little bit of Black Orc down going on over here in the cities here. So that's the story that we've got going on. That's the mission. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 kill teams that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Dark Angels, my kill team will consist of, from left to right here, we have a Primaris Lieutenant with a Power Sword as my commander. We then have a Scout Sergeant as my leader. We have a Sniper Specialist who is an Eliminator. We've got a Combat Specialist who is a Reaver Sergeant with a Combat Knife. We have an Intercessor Sergeant Comm Specialist. Then we have a second Eliminator and 2 Scouts. And then for the Orcs, his kill team will consist of, from left to right here, his commander who is a War Boss. We've got a Grot Leader. We've got a Comm Specialist who is a Luda Spanna with a Big Shooter. We've got a Combat Specialist who is a Boss Knob with a Big Choppa. We've got the Demolitions Expert who is a Burner Boy. We then have 2 Commandos, a Luda, and a Grot. All right, so those are the kill teams going over deployment here. I've got my Eliminator Sniper Specialist over here. I've got my my commander up in front. I've got the other Eliminator up over there, followed behind by the Comm Specialist. I got my 2 Scouts in the middle here. I've got my Combat Specialist, and then I got my leader over on the other side there. Going over deployment now for the Orcs. We got the Luda in the window over here. We got the 2 Commandos up front. We've got the Burner Boy Demolition Specialist back over here. We've got the Luda Spanna back in the back over here. Then we've got his Combat Specialist, his Commander, and his regular Grot over here, and his leader Grot hiding in the building over here. So, as he is wont to do, because that's what they do. All right, so that is going to be deployment. We will now roll off to see you'll have initiative going into turn 1. My opponent gets a 6, and I get a 10, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here. My Sniper Specialist moved up behind the barrels over here. My Comm Specialist moved up over here. My other Eliminator readied himself. This Scout moved up. This Scout advanced. My Commander advanced, as did my Combat Specialist, and then my leader just moved up into the corner over here. So that's going to be it for the movement phase for the Dark Angels. We'll come back to you with the movement phase for the Orcs. All right, going over the movement phase for the Orcs here. These two guys back over here readied themselves. Everybody up over here just moved, did not advance, and his leader moved over there as well. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, starting off the shooting phase now, my eliminator back over here, who is readied, is going to take the bonus from the comm specialist, and he's going to fire into his Luda back over here with the mortis round. So it's +2 to hit. A -1 because of obscurement. I don't get any minuses for long range with this weapon, but I mean it maxes out at 2. So I'm gonna be hitting on a 2, rerolling 1s because of Dark Angel since he didn't move. Whoop, okay, off the table. That's how I do that. With a 6, that's a fill first. This is gonna be wounding on a 4, because strength 4, toughness 4. No, I'm gonna spend a CP to reroll that. Into a fill first!
Blue.
All right, and because they are Death Skulls, he's at a 6-up invul save. No, does not. So that is going to be 1 damage there, but that's enough to take him down to 0. Let's see if he is out of action. On a 3, he is not, so he takes a flesh wound. All right, so now my opponent's Luda is going to fire back. He's going to fire into my sniper specialist over here. So he is going to be having 3 shots, which is pretty good. Hitting on 6s because he's got that flesh wound even with the comms buff there. Getting 1 hit.
1 reroll for Death Skulls.
Reroll 1 because of Death Skulls. Nope, just going to have the 1 hit. So it's going to be strength 7. So looking for a 3 to wound. That is a wound. AP -1. So he's going to have a 4-up save. No, does not save. What's the damage on that?
2 damage.
2 damage. So that's going to go, yeah, I think that's going to go straight through. So injury rolls. He's going to take a flesh wound.
Yeah, he is.
And then his Luda Spanner with the big shooter is going to fire into my dude bro as well, hitting on 6s. Not getting anything but reroll 1s because of the Death Skulls. Yeah. No, not meant to be.
Commander stuff the same.
Alrighty, so my dude bro over here is going to shoot into his commando over here. He is obscured, but within 12 inches, so it's going to be 2 shots. Would be hitting on 4s because of the obscurement, but because he's a sneaky git, he is going to be -2 to hit, so he becomes a 5 to hit. So 2 shots, hitting on 5s. Getting 1 hit, looking for a 4 to wound. No, no wound. All right, so now his Burner Boy is gonna fire into my lieutenant. You can see him through, there's a hole inside there that he's shooting through there. He's also gonna spend a CP on Pyromaniac, which makes this a D6 auto hits. All right, that's gonna be 5 auto hits, pretty good there. Wounding on 3, strength 5, right?
Strength 4, demolitions.
Oh, strength 4, but demolitions because he's obscured, he gets +1 to the wound roll. So that's gonna be 4 wounds there. So 4 armor saves. These are going to be looking for 3-up saves. Making 3 out of the 4. All right, so my comm specialist over here is going to fire into this commando over here. He's, again, got sneaky git, so he's going to be hitting on 5 because he's within 15 inches. That's going to be, he didn't, oh no, he did move, so I don't get to reroll that. So no hits. All right, his boss knob is now going to fire his slugger into my my combat specialist over here. 1 shot hitting on a not a 3. Death Skulls reroll.
Nope.
Nope, no hit. All right, so now I'm going to use the mortis round for my sniper specialist here. He's going to fire into the Luda as well. He's -1 to hit because of moving with a heavy weapon. He's also -1 to hit because of him being obscured, but he's +2 to hit because of the round choice here, so he's going to be hitting on a 3. That's a hit with a fill face. This is going to be wounding on a 4. No, no wound. All right, so now his commando over here is going to fire into my dude bro over here, hitting on a 6.
Nope.
No hit there. And the second commando does hit there.
4 to wound.
4 to wound. Yes. Yeah, that's a wound. AP nothing, right? So 3-up save. And he stood. Woo! And now the Grot's going to shoot into my combat specialist. That's not going to be a hit. And now his war boss is going to shoot into my eliminator over here. 6s. Not getting anything. I see we're so entertaining. All right, so that's the end of turn 1 here. We got no morales to take here, but my opponent does have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points worth of models on the base there. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on there. So a point to the Orcs so far. They've probably ripped off one of the engines at this point. So
they got
the shields boss. So now we're gonna roll off to see who has initiative going into turn 2. My opponent gets a 9, I've got a 7, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Orcs. So starting out the moving phase here, his Luda and his Luda Spanna are going to ready themselves over here. This guy readied himself, even though he's probably not going to do anything. His other Grot went and hid underneath the wing over here, and everyone else is going to be charging, so we're going to get to that now. So we're going to start off with his War Boss is going to charge into the Combat Specialist and my Lieutenant. So
Boss leads the way.
Boss leads the way, so we're going to roll Overwatch here with the Lieutenant first. That is a hit.
5 to wound.
No wound there. And then the Combat Specialist is not a hit. So here comes his charge distance. That's going to be good with an 8. Yep. So now his Combat Specialist over here is going to charge into them as well. Gets maybe 1 second. All right, that's going to be just out. It gets him like on top of the vehicle, the Valkyrie over here. So we're going to roll. He's going to spend 2 CP on here we go, 1 CP on here we go, which will allow him to reroll 1 of the dice. Oh, back into a 1. Now this commando is going to charge into Jenkins over here, overwatching. That's no hits there. That's 6. Probably not going to get.
Here we go.
Rerolling because of here we go. 5 inches, even less. And now the next one's going to charge into Jenkins over here. Overwatch. Oh, no, he can't see him. I don't think so. That's 8 inches. I don't know if that's going to get him. Going to here we go that. 7 inches will not make it. And now the Burna is going to charge into these guys over here. That's 8 inches, maybe. Let's see. All right, he's going to here we go. No, 4 inches will not make it. All right, a movement phase for the Dark Angels here. My Sniper Specialist moved up onto the base there. My Comm Specialist moved up onto the base there. My Scout readied, other Scout readied. These guys are locked in combat. My other Eliminator readied himself, as did my leader, who I forgot to shoot last time because, I don't know, reasons. So that's going to be, because I was nervous. There we go. All right, so that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, his Luda now is going to start us off here by firing into my Comm Specialist. He's going to get 3 shots. Pretty good there.
I need that 6.
Here we go. Looking for 6s. No hits. Bunch of 5s, but no 6s. He's going to use his 1 reroll during the shooting phase here that he gets for Death Skulls. No, not a hit. All right, so my Eliminator here is now going to fire into his Burna, no, not the Burna, into this guy over here, one of the commandos. Okay. So we're gonna go with that one first. So he's gonna shoot into him. He's gonna use the +2 to hit round over there. So he's gonna be hitting on 2s regardless of the obscurement. No, without the cons buff, but he's obscured +2, double obscured. Oh, so 3s. I forgot. He has got double obscured. So 3s to hit. That's gonna be a hit. Wounding on a 4. That's a wound with a fill face. That's 1 second. Yeah, the other round is the one that does a mortal wound on that. So that's going to be a wound, though. But it's going to be AP -1. 6 up. No, does not save him there. So it's going to be looking for a 4 here because of the fact that he's within the inch of obscurement there. No, with a 1, he takes a flesh wound. I'm going to spend a CP to reroll that. Yeah, there we go. He's out of action. And now his Luda Span is going to fire into my other Eliminator over there. Getting no hits. All right, so now my Scout over here is going to fire into his other commando. 2 shots. He's obscured, so hitting on 5s. That's going to be 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. That's a wound with a fill face. 6 up. No, is he out of action? With a 3, no, he takes a flesh wound. All right, so continuing with the readies over here, my other Scout is going to fire into him as well. 2 shots. Hitting on 5s because of the sneaky gets. That's 2 double fill faces, 2 hits here. Wounding on 4s. Go. Now my leader's gonna fire into his Combat Specialist. He is obscured, but doesn't have the sneaky gets rule, so it's 2 shots hitting on 4s. Rerolling 1s because of Dark Angels. Because he didn't move. There we go. That's 2 hits. 4s to wound. That's 1 wound. Whoop, off the table. No save there.
He's not dead.
Injury. Oh, he's got 1 wound. He's got 2 wounds. I forgot. My Comm Specialist is now going to fire into the commando over here. 2 shots, hitting on 5s because he's obscured and he's a sneaky get. Getting 1 hit. Not getting a wound. All right, so now my sniper specialist is going to fire into the loot over here. He's going to get the +1 from the comm specialist, and then I'm going to use the +2 to hit from his gun. So he's going to be hitting on a 2. Rerolling 1s because he's a sniper specialist. That's a hit with a fill phase. Wounding on a 4. No wound. All right, so into the fight phase. I spent 2 CP for decisive strike, as did my opponent. So now we're going to roll off to see who will have the actual decisive strike. Oh, with the double 1. All right, so we're going to go with his attacks here.
I'm going to go with the lieutenant attacks.
All right, so now his war boss is going to put 3 attacks into my lieutenant, 2 attacks into... One attack, sorry. 3 attacks into my lieutenant, 1 attack into my combat specialist. So we're going to do the 3 attacks into my lieutenant here. With the claw hitting on 3s. You can reroll 1 of those with the bad wound, death skull. So that's going to be 2 hits.
Wounding on 2.
Wounding on 2s. That's going to be 1. Reroll 1 wound as well in this phase. Into 2 wounds. AP -3. So looking for a 6-up save. Show me them fill faces. No, failed both of them by 1. Oh god. D3 damage, right? D3 apiece. So the first one is D3.
Yep.
Is going to be 3 damage. So he's down to 1. And then D3. So he's definitely going to be up, but we'll see how many injury rolls he gets to make.
Yep.
1 injury roll. All right, here we go. Injury roll time. And a 3, he takes a flesh wound. And another 1 attack into my Reaver Sergeant there. That is a hit. That is a wound. 6-up armor. Save, fill face. No, again with the 5. Doing 1 damage, so he's still alive. All right, so my lieutenant is now going to attack into him over here. He's got the melee specialism. He had the ferocity specialism, and I have the melee specialism. So this means that I am going to have 5 attacks hitting on 2s into his war boss over there. Alrighty, so it's going to be 4 hits. These are going to be wounding on 5s because he's T5. Not getting anything. And now my combat specialist, he's got 3 attacks base, +1 because of the combat knife, +1 for being a combat specialist into him over here. So it's 5 attacks hitting on 3s. That is going to be 3 hits. Wounding on 5s. Ooh, getting 2 wounds. 4-up saves. Making 1 of them, failing 1 of them. All right, so that's the end of the turn here. We do have some tests to take over here. So because he's got his 1 injured dude bro over here. He's got 1 guy out. So 1 + 1, he's good to go. He is leadership 6.
Yeah.
So he can't fail because he's got the 1 guy within range there. And that's it for that. I've got some guys with flesh wounds, but I don't have anyone out, so they can't fail their tests. So that's the end of the turn here. At the end of the turn, my opponent has 1 point, 2 point, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points on the board, on the objective over here. I have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points on the board here. So a victory point for the Dark Angels, tying us at 1 point apiece. So here we go. We're going to roll for initiative into turn 3.
4.
Ooh, 4 to my 9. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels. So movement phase for the Dark Angels here. My lieutenant and my combat specialist both fell back. My 2 scouts readied themselves, as did my comm specialist, and both of my eliminators and my leader over here. So that's going to be it for the movement phase for the Dark Angels. Come back to you after movement phase for the Orcs. All right, movement phase for the Orcs here. These guys back over here, his Luda and his Luda Spana, both readied, as did his leader. His leader's not going to do anything, but he's just right there. His war boss fell back over this direction over here to try to get some obscurement from the shooting. And then we're going to be having some charges. So we're going to start with the commando over here charging into my lieutenant. Overwatching here. That's not a hit. That is going to be in. Now his combat specialist is going to charge into my combat specialist and into my scout over here. Overwatching. All right, no hits there. And then a bolt pistol. He did move, so he cannot re-roll that.
Yep.
And ooh, with an 8 inches should get him in. Yep. Now his Burner Boy is going to charge into both scouts and into my combat specialist. His charge distance 4 inches will not get it.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
No, even worse.
Here we don't go.
Here we don't go. All right, so now my sniper specialist is going to start us off in the shooting phase, shooting into his Luda. He's going to use the mortis round, so he's +2 to hit, -1 because of obscurement, so he's hitting on a 2. Rerolling 1s because he's a sniper specialist.
And a Dark Angel.
And a Dark Angel, so all of it. There we go with a fill face. That's a hit. Wounding on a 4. That's a wound with a fill face.
On 6.
6 up invul, no. So it's going to be +1 to his injury roll here, -1 because of being within the cover there. And with a 5, he's out of action. And his Luda Span is now going to shoot into my sniper specialist over here. 3 shots, hitting on 6s, getting 1 hit. Going to spend a reroll here.
Free reroll.
The free reroll, yeah, not interesting. Nope, not meant to be.
Wounded on 3.
Wounded on 3. That's a wound. AP, nothing, so 3 up save. Yeah, with the 3. All right, so now my comm specialist over here is going to fire into his war boss over there. 2 shots, hitting on 4s because he is obscured from where he's at. That's going to be 1 hit, wounding on a 5. That's a wound, AP -1. 5 up save. No, does not save it, so this just takes 1 wound. And now my scout here is going to fire into him. 4s to hit. That's 2 hits, 5s to wound. No wounds. Now my leader is going to fire into him. 4s to hit. No. Rerolling 1s because of Dark Angels. There we go. That's a hit. 5s to wound. No wound. All right, so now execution shot here from him. He's going to fire into him. So it's going to be 1 shot. He is going to be obscured, but I'm going to get the +1 because of the comms bonus here. So he's going to be hitting on 3. Rerolling 1s because of Dark Angels. It's then strength 4, toughness 5, D3 damage. On a wound roll of a 6, it does a mortal wound. So here we go. Hitting on a 3. Oh, hits on the fill face. I needed that next. Here we go. Wounding on a 5. No! I could if I want. I'm not going to. All right, so now into the fight phase. We're both spending 2 CP for a decisive strike here. So rolling off.
4B2.
I keep rolling my 2s for this decisive strike. You rolled 2 2s. I only rolled 2, period. All right, so my opponent now is going to have his combat specialist attack into my combat specialist.
My combat specialist can beat up your combat
specialist. Yeah, my combat specialist can beat up your combat specialist. So how many attacks does he have over here?
5 total.
He's got 5 total attacks. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So these are going to be
4 total.
4 total. So these are going to be going, what, 2 and 2? Or
yeah, 2 and 2.
2 and 2. So he's going to have 2 attacks into my combat specialist, 2 attacks into my scout over here.
We'll start with the combat specialist.
Start with the combat specialist over here, hitting on 3s. Getting no hits. Reroll 1 because of death skulls. No, not meant to be.
And then to Jenkins.
And then into the scout over here. That's going to be 2 hits. Strength.
Strength 7.
7, so 3s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. AP -1, so 5 up saves. No, neither of those. So it's 2 damage. And on a 5, he is out of action. Jenkins, no! All right, because I decisive strike, my lieutenant will now attack into his command over here with his 5 attacks, hitting on 2s. All right, that's all hits. Strength 4, toughness 4, wounding on 4s. Whoa, 1 wound, AP -3, so 6 up invul save. That is off the table. No, it does not happen. So +1 to this roll because he's got an injury roll anyway. With a 1, he takes a second flesh wound. All right, so now his commando is going to attack into me here. He's got 3 attacks here. These are going to be hitting on 5s because he's got 2 flesh wounds. Getting no hits there. And now my combat specialist will hit into his combat specialist. 5 attacks, hitting on 3s. All righty, that's pretty good. These are now going to be wounding on 4s. Oh boy, that's 3 wounds there.
Alrighty.
No, he is going to be out of 1 save, so he's going to be rolling for injury roll. And with a 5, he's out of action. All right, so now his dude bro over here is going to roll in the morale phase to see if he is shook on a 3. So 3 + 3 is 6. And he's got 1 second. Yeah, with that 3, he hits 6. He's good to go. He's fine right there. So that is going to be everyone's still in the fight over here. So now we are going to roll for initiative going into turn 4. That's mine just by 1. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels. Both of my eliminators readied themselves, as did my leader. And now everyone else is going to charge. So we've got my comm specialist going to start us off by charging into his commando and into his war boss over here. So the war boss firing Overwatch, getting one hit.
And one reroll.
One reroll because of different phase. It says each phase. So two hits. There you go. That's how you do that. Force to wound. No wounds there.
One reroll though.
One reroll.
Nothing.
May as well take it when you can. So here comes his charge. Yeah, move his face. Who's gonna get? What else are you gonna roll for that? So here we go. My charge distance is in. And now my combat specialist is gonna charge into the war boss. He's in, I believe. Yep, that got him in. And then my scout is also gonna charge into the war boss. And 3 inches for him though might not get him in. In fact, it does not. So he's gonna stay where he is. All right, movement phase. His Luda Spanna moved up into advanced over this way. His Grot leader advanced as well. His other Grot stayed still over there. These guys are all locked in combat, and now he is going to charge as well into my combat specialist.
Yeah, we'll go for the other scout for the long.
And the other scout over there. 1 second, and he cannot see him, so his charge distance 10-inch charge. He's in.
So, yeah,
all right, so into the shooting phase. None of my guys who are readied can actually see anyone who's not engaged in combat, so we can't shoot there. Everyone else charged or was charged except for my lieutenant. So my lieutenant is going to shoot into his into the commando over here. He's going to take the +1 from the comms specialist bonus over here because it's the only exception is that if he is shaken, but he is not. So he's going to take that and shoot into him. So he's going to be hitting on a 2. That's a hit. Looking for a 4 to wound. No wound there. Yep. All right, so into the fight phase over here. We are both going to be spending our 2 CP to try to go first here. Decisive strike. Ooh, finally rolled. Oh, exact tie. Reroll. Of course, the first time I don't roll double ones. Oh, with an 11 though, I will get the advantage. All right, so I'm going to attack with my combat specialist into his war boss over here. So he's got 5 attacks, hitting on 3s. Oh boy, that was not great on a 5 to wound. Hey, at least I got a wound. No, I didn't.
On my boss.
All right, so now his commando over here is going to use his decisive strike to attack into my lieutenant. That is going to be no hits because he is -1 to hit. All right, so now we're into the regular Hammer of Wrath phase where I'm going to attack with my intercessor into his war boss. So 3 attacks hitting on 3s. Oh boy, 1 hit, 5 to wound, no wound. And now his Burna is going to attack into my scout over here. So he is going to have 2 attacks here, hitting on 3s. Wounding on 4s. Hitting on 3s, oh, no hits. And now the boss fights as though he charged because of his ferocity specialism. So he is going to attack. What are you going to do?
We're going to do 3 into the combat specialist.
3 into the combat specialist and 1 into my comms specialist over here.
We'll do 2 and 2, actually.
2 and 2. Okay, so we're going to do 2 and 2. We'll do 2 into the combat specialist first. Hitting on 3s. That's going to be 2 hits. There we go. Wounding on 2s. That is going to be 2 wounds. Looking for 6 up saves. Come on, you can do it. No, I may fail both of them. So D3 is going to be 2 damage. So 2 injury rolls because that takes him down to 0. No. And he is out of action with a 6 and a 5. And now he's attacking into my comm specialist. Not getting any hits, so he's going to reroll 1 because of death skulls. No, not meant to be. All right, so now my lieutenant is going to attack into his commando over there. 5 attacks hitting on 2s. All right, there we go. Hit wounding on 4s. Okay, there we go. 6 up invul saves. No, this is going to go through +2 to this roll. Okay, he's finally out. All right, so now my scout is going to attack into his Burna Boy. Can he be the hero that we need, not the one that we deserve? Oh, he's got that hit. No, he doesn't have the wound. All right, so that's the end of the turn. No leadership necessary because he doesn't have anyone that's flesh wounded, and I've got 1. My lieutenant is fine. There's 2 guys out. He's good, but he would on a 6 have to worry, but he's within an inch of a dude bro, so he's going to be good to go. So no need to roll for morale this turn because my opponent has 4 guys out. He needs a 5th before he has to roll to break. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. Oh, that's going to be it for that. So now going to who scores the point on this. The Orcs have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points on the board here. I've got on the objective over here. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points on the board here. So he will have the victory point there. So that at the end of turn 4, it's 2-2, right? That was the end of turn 4. That was turn 4.
Was it 4?
I think that was turn 4.
That was 3.
No, I think 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the end of turn 4. So we are now going to roll
So fast.
on. It has gone fast. So now we're going to roll on to end of turn 4, right? Was that turn 4?
That was turn 4.
If that was the end of turn 4, we have to roll to see if the game is over.
Go for it.
All right, so I'm going to roll to see if the game is over. On a 1 or 2, that's where the game ends. With a tie. How anticlimactic. Let's find out. With a 3, we're going on to another round here. So we're going to roll to see who has initiative going into turn 5. That is going to be a 9. My opponent gets a 10. Oh, Orcs, you're going to have the initiative here. So we'll come back to you after the movement phase for the Orcs. All right, so movement phase. His leader's going to stay back over here. He's going to stay in combat, as is he. So now his sneaky little grot underneath here is going to charge into my comm specialist over here. And a 4 should get him in. All right, and then his comm specialist over here is going to charge into my comms and the scout over there. Whoa,
2.
Getting a 2 and a 4. Here we go.
Here we go.
5 inches. I don't think we'll get him in because he'd have to go up and around. Yeah,
so he's just
yeah. And his leader did advance over this way to get into some more cover. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you for the Orcs. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels. My 2 eliminators readied themselves. My 1 scout that was in combat over here fell back over here. My leader advanced up onto the objective over here, and now my lieutenant is going to charge into his grot, and he is in. All right, so starting off here, my sniper specialist is going to get the +1 to hit from the comm specialist, shooting into his Burna in the shooting phase. So I am going to be hitting on a 2 because of the comm specialist ability there. That is a hit with a fill face, looking for a 4 to wound. No, not going to wound.
I do have another eliminator.
I do have another eliminator, yeah. Speaking of, my other eliminator is now going to shoot into him as well, hitting on a 3 this time because he don't have the +1 because of the comm specialist. That is going to be a hit, wounding on a 4. That is going to be a wound. So it's AP -2, so 6 up invul save. No, it's not going to happen. So here we go. It bees D3 damage. 1 damage, still enough to take him down. And an injury roll of a fill face will take him out. All right, it's sort of the fight phase. My opponent's going to spend 2 CP on Nasher Squig with his grot there into my lieutenant. So, what is it on a 4 up? No, with the 3, it does not work.
I will attack.
All right, so now the grot's going to attack into the lieutenant over here. So that is a hit. That is a wound. Oh boy. Oh boy.
T2 or strength 2.
Oh, strength 2. Oh no, he needs a 6 to win. Yeah. Oh, we got excited. And now my lieutenant's going to attack into his grot here. 5 attacks hitting on 2s. Alrighty. Oh boy, he doesn't want to do this. Wounded on 2s though. Oh boy, that's 2 wounds there. 1 second. All right, no invul save because he's a grot. Grots don't get the benefit of being death. They're not cultured. They're not cultured individuals over here. So here we go. This is going to be injury roll. And on 3, he takes a flesh wound. I'm spending my CP to reroll that. I don't like that. Oh boy! All right, so now War Boss is going to put all his attacks into my comm specialist over here. That is going to be 1 hit. Death Skulls. Death Skulls gets to reroll 1 each phase. Ooh, not meant to be.
And 2.
Wounded on a 2. Oh boy, that's a wound. AP -3. I need a fill face. Show me that fill face. Oh no, 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 no. So D3 damage. Oh, with the 1 damage, he's still alive. All right, so now my comm specialist is going to attack into his War Boss because I want to try to get some wounds onto him. Alrighty, it's going to be 2 hits. Ooh, 2 wounds, 2 4-up saves. Oh, he makes 1, fails 1. All right, so that is the end of the turn here. We are going to, I guess we have to we do have to do a break test right now. So his highest leadership is probably the War Boss, which is what, like an 8 or something?
Check it.
We're going to find out. All right, so he's got leadership 8 on him over there. So, ooh, with the 12.
So I really
they
lose.
failed it there, so they are broken. Yeah. So we're going to have some leadership tests to take here. So we'll go on the Grot over there.
Right.
2 plus there is going to be shaken. Onto his war boss, 2 plus 5. He's good to go because he's got 8.
7.
But onto the Ludaspana, 2, 6. Shaken. He's going to be shaken. And onto the other Grot leader over there, he is also going to be shaken. So, oof, that's rough there. But let's see if the game ends, because that's the turn there. It does with that, so it didn't really matter over there. At the end of this turn, though, I did have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points on the board here. He had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points on the board there. So
only unbroken warband.
The only but we didn't specify that in our specific mission, the unbroken warband. It's not always. So I did not have it. So a Dark Angels victory there with the 1 point. So 3-2. Really close game with some really fun strategic way. That was a lot of fun. So I guess we saved a lot of really bad dice rolls on both our parts. We both rolled like me. So, but a ton of fun with that. That was a super good time. I guess we saved the crew inside there and shoot away the grots before they could take away too much. The war boss decided to. Yeah, there we go. He came out with a sock and bopper. There we go. So that was a ton of fun there. So at the end, the Dark Angels did manage to save the crew and decided that these orcs needed to be dealt with one way or the other. So join us in the next battle when we keep this narrative going and the fight continues on this planet. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Harrison. Until next time, have fun.